What's going on, everybody? I want to hop on here real quick. I think I ripped some firewood on a couple of my last videos, but I didn't really specify why I was doing so. I have access to 2 wood splitters. I do. I've got access to 2 wood splitters, and I've split every bit of that wood you see right down through there. I don't know, it's 4 foot tall, and it's probably 24, 36, 48. It's probably about 60 foot long down through there, maybe a little longer than that, 70 foot. I think it equals out to be like in between them fence posts like a rick and a high. So 3, 6, I got like 7 or 8 rick right here probably. And I'll split every bit of it by hand, and a lot of it's been stringy, hickory. Some of it's been easy. The red oak was real easy to split because it was big, it was straight grained, and that's what I'm getting at today. If you're splitting, if you have to split wood by hand, it's better if you can go cutting and get in the middle of a patch of woods, because it catches less wind and it catches a whole lot less wind really, and it's out of the elements, so to speak, and so it'll grow straight grained and not very twisted. And all this hickory here that I cut come out of them yard trees that I cut when I first started the channel back in like February, January, 10 months ago. And of course they was all out in the yard. There were other trees there, but they had one good log out at 10 or 12 foot log, and then it started to go into branches. So they're typically a yard tree, where in the forest they grow up and it might be 50 foot before they have their first branch. But in saying that, a yard tree, when it's not got a lot of trees surrounding it, especially like this hickory that I cut, it was up on a hill, so it got wind all the time, and it's real stringy and kind of got a twist in it. That helps hold that tree structure. So if you're going to split hand split wood, the best wood to find is out in the middle of the forest, and cut it out of the butt, not out of the top, and get the straight grain stuff, because you can split it. If you get some good wood like that red oak or that walnut that I'm splitting, that sassafras that I split, you can split it one hit. You can have it split quicker than you can with a wood splitter. And like I say, I have access to 2 wood splitters, but I like doing it like this because, for one, I ain't got to drag that out, and I'm probably using less gas, and it may be a little more work two-stepping it. But even with the wood splitters, you get some that's hung up, you got to beat and bang them off or whatever, and it's aggravating. Well, if you do it like this, and that's what I want to show you, you don't have to have a wood splitter to hand split wood, and you don't have to get one of those steel wedges and beat it in there and sit there and beat your brains out. Now, yes, you do have to run a saw, and it may be a little wear on a chain, but if you stay out of the dirt, you can. I've pretty much done all this with one chain, other than when I dulled the 462, but I hit it on the ground. That was my fault. But you don't have to go deep. Like some of these, I went pretty deep. You can tell when you start cutting, once you do it a while, do it enough, you can tell what needs to be dug in deep and what doesn't need to be dug in deep, as far as when you score it. But what I'm getting at is, you can do away with all that crap, if I don't fall and kill myself, and just take your saw and score it. And you can, and I've got my cut pants on today for everybody that cries normally that I don't have no cut pants on. None of my subscribers, it's just mainly the people that come in on them shorts, that just troll around and just look for videos to be a smart aleck on. Like they're telling you something that you really give a crap, But anyway, you can take these pieces. They don't take very long. And probably what I'm going to start doing while I'm cutting is, I'm going to start doing this on the harder stuff. If I know it's hard to split, like this yard hickory, yard red oak, yard white oak, just anything, that come out of the yard. See, that red oak and that sassafras was easy because it was blocked by other trees, kind of tight knit, you know. So, but anyway, and some wood just splits better than other woods, but still yet, really no matter what kind of wood it is, even like the pine or the spruce, I'd say, what I've seen, I haven't ever really split much of it, but what I've seen, you know, if it's twisted, it's hard to split no matter what. So what I'll do is I just take and score a little bit, and then I'll show you. The easier it is, of course, too, but like this stuff is really hard, so that helps if you hit where you scored it at. Once you get it down to where it's littler, of course, it's a whole lot easier to split. So, and if a piece of wood's got a knot in it, put the knot to the bottom. That way you can get that wood started splitting before it gets to the knot. If you try to split it with the knot up, you'll never split it. But if it's got a knot in it, like this one's got a knot in it, it's hell to split, but you can, sometimes the wood will split around it, or you can split it through the knot. So, like right here is the swell, the knot or whatever. But first I'm gonna go right to the side of it, get this piece smaller, and then I'm gonna hit it right here. Keep that knot in its own piece, it makes it easier. But it's still tough because it's curly grain stuff, you know? Yay! That's my karate chop. And some of this, if you do it just right, you can just come back in and hit it like that and split it. You ain't got to stand it up if you notch it deep enough. So you just go back and whack it like that. To not even have to stand it up, really. And like with a splitter, unless you got one of them fancy like table ones, but you're still having to bend over and pick it up, like this, I'm running the saw, I'm standing up, and this is laying on the ground, and I'm still pretty well standing up, you know. I'm not bending over, you know, moving wood all the time. So I kind of like it I like this better than the splitter, especially the 2 splitters that I run. I've got a little small one. It's got a 5-horse motor on it. It kind of looks like one of those electric wood splitters you see at TSC, but it's got a 5-horse motor on it. I think it may be like a 10-ton or 8-ton splitter or something like that. It'll split whatever you, for the most part, put in front of it and can set on there. And then I've got access to a like 20 or 30-ton splitter that comes from like TSC that you can leave it laying flat, or you can stand it up. But like I say, you're bending over and picking up wood. This way, you're just sawing it and doing it. Right next to the road. I need to get me a microphone. But you can stand up and split your wood for the most part. The only bending over you got is when you're picking up to throw it over, or picking it up to go rick it or whatever. So it's fairly handy. And sometimes once I get it split down to this, I won't do another mark, because you can pretty well hit it and get it. Hit it and get it, babe. That's what I'm talking about. But anyway, and some of it's hard. This one looks like it's going to be hard because it looks like it come out of a limb or a knot was in it. And I was right. It's tough. I've got shit done it. I call it tough if it takes more than one time to split it. I like splitting them like that right there. But it's cold. It's kind of cold out. The saw's been running good. It's at 400. I haven't retuned it. It don't seem like it's 4-stroking as bad, but I think it possibly may be hitting the rev limiter, because the plug didn't look fouled out. I think it's just hitting the rev limiter where you put that bark box on there, and it changes it. You know, just like when you put a muffler on, you got to retune or whatever, it makes the RPMs go up. When you do a muffler mod on a carbureted saw, if it's the right kind of muffler. So I think that's pretty well. I don't know how long this would take me with a splitter, but you can see I done got quite a bit of wood split here ready to go. And just like this one with the big knot on it, it wasn't that bad to do with the thing. Like I say, they get easier as the drier they get. I didn't cut that in furnace. But you can lay them down like that. You don't have to mess with standing them up quite a bit. Like that one's got a knot in it. That's a limb on a tree. It's still going to be hard to split, but if I hadn't scored it, I would say it would have been right near unsplittable. Yeah, it would have been. I may have to score that one a little more. But I like doing it like this just because. And if you'll do it while you're cutting the wood, like if you're while you're actually bucking it in the summer or whatever, because that wood dries, it'll start, when it dries, it'll split there first. So then it makes it that much more easier. Some of these that I done this to a couple weeks ago and never did split, they were already dang near split in half by the time I got them back, you know, got back up here to get at them. I didn't split this one. I don't know how easy it'll be to split. Like I say, some of it's easier to split than others. So it just depends really on the wood and all that kind of crap. And I think this is faster because by the time you have to wait, unless you got a really fast splitter, but the ones I've got access to are slow. By the time you move that lever, it's more physical labor. But by the time you move the lever and everything, I done had all this split by the time a splitter would have done come forward and back twice, you know, so it all depends on your setup. And I don't mind splitting wood by hand if it's good wood to split. I don't want to sit there and beat my damn brains out, you know, on a piece of wood. That ain't no fun. And I don't care how good of a wood splitter you are, there's just some pieces of wood that you can't hardly split. I mean, I ain't gonna say you can't split it, because if you sit there and beat on it long enough or drive a wedge down in it, yeah, it's gonna split. But like I say, what's the fun in that? That to me, it's not. I was gonna go yesterday. I didn't go cut any because the temperature dropped. Like, it was 70 Thursday, 75, 80 degrees Thursday, and Saturday morning here it was they was calling for snow, so it was at least 32 degrees, maybe a little cooler, and today's high is 40 something. So in 4 days it's dropped 40 degrees the temperature. But I like dealing with wood and splitting wood and that kind of jazz when the weather is like that it is. I don't want to be hot cutting wood. A lot of people claim, oh, you got to cut your wood in the summer. You got to cut your wood, get all your wood cut in the summer. I'd rather go out when there's snow on the ground and go cutting than I had when it's 95 degrees out. That's a fact. Yeah. That is a fact. Here's one I split down a long time ago. Back yonder. It's already got like 3 cracks in it on the top. But it's pretty stringy, and I didn't hit the crack for one. But it's got it's swell at the bottom, so they come off a limb end or maybe the butt of the tree. That's good enough. So I want to get back and get doing some cutting. But in my line of woodworking, I do sell firewood, so here and there, like I ain't avid, I don't sell it. I'm probably gonna start, but it ain't like I just sell it ricks and ricks upon ricks. But I'm gonna start because I'm a one-man band and it takes me a minute to get all my crap gathered up. But I didn't go cutting anything today. I've got several trees I need to go look at and possibly lay down, but I didn't go cutting anything today because I want to get this wood pile attended to and get some and try to get it worked down to where it ain't, you know, at least ain't that much. And 2, of course, with the price of everything being high, some people they're not 100% sure right now, right here at Christmas, if they can afford to get the trees cut. And I need to go talk to a couple of them because I may work out some kind of deal with them, try to do them a little cheaper, and or you know, see how we can trade out. You know, I wished I could do it for nothing. If the channel gets to where it's big enough, then and I can start. I'm not wanting. I mean, I don't have to get to be a millionaire off this, is what I'm getting at. Yes, it would be nice, you know. I'm not expecting that. I'm just saying if I can make decent money off the channel, then I would cut trees for nothing. You know, because I enjoy cutting the trees and I enjoy doing the firewood and stuff. And, you know, even if it comes down to, you know, if, you know, like I know the Novice Lumberjack said what he was making. If I can make around that or make double of that, I'd start doing the tree work for, you know, half price or whatever, helping people out. Because that's, to me, what it's about. I like to help people out. And I've been pretty blessed. I'm not loaded or not rich by no means, and I'm not well off. I can't not work for 6 or 7 months and be okay. But I've been blessed enough to be able to play with saws and do kind of what I want to. I still got to get up and go to work every day. But I make a pretty decent living, so, and my wife does too, so it works out pretty well. But in saying that, I've been blessed, but I also got my butt up every day from the time I was 16 and went to work. I've hardly ever called in sick. I've never like just called in sick saying I probably wouldn't be there. Like, I've always tried to give a notice, or I've showed up and they're like, man, you need to go home. That's just kind of the person I am. I've never laid out of work. I think I've only been late like 3 times. One time was I forgot to set my alarm. We had to work a Saturday. I forgot to set my alarm, and then of course nobody's going to be on time every single day, hardly. But I think in about let's see, what would it be? Probably about 20 years, I've only been late, 3 or 4 times to work. So that's not bad. But that's what I'm saying. If you're watching the channel, or you're watching anybody's channel and thinking, man, I wish I could do that, or I wish I had those saws, or I wished I could, if not even looking at me, looking at anybody else, and you're wishing that you could do something, just get up and go to work hard, and you ain't got to be the smartest person in the world. Just try to learn your job and do it good and move up to where you're making more money. And be smart with your money, and one day you'll be able to do that. So, because here's the deal, unless your parents are rich and give you a lot of money, or unless your parents were rich and left you a lot of money, or you inherited some kind of money somehow, or you're not going to be out just getting whatever you want to. You got to work for it. So if you're wishing that you could have this or that, or thinking, man, that guy's got a lot, you gotta get out and work for it. And it kills me. People kind of get angry at people because for what they charge for something or whatever. And I mean, they're trying to make a living too. And really, if they can charge that much and get it, if people want to give it, they think it's worth that, then that's their business. You know what I'm saying? If you wasn't born with it, you got to get it somehow. And it's just the way it is. That's why I cut trees, and that's why I do firewood and do whatever else we can to make money. I'm always going. I'm not hardly ever sitting still. I'm always trying to make money somehow, whether it's buying something and flipping it, which I don't show much of that, buying something and flipping it, or like we sell pumpkins, we'll go buy pumpkins, haul them, unload them, set them up, sit there. Used to, when we first got started, now we've got kind of like we live in town, we kind of got a stand at our house, but used to, we go set Saturday and Sundays and sell pumpkins all day. So, for extra money, you gotta hustle if you're poor. I grew up poor. Well, I really wasn't poor. My parents was. They just drug me around. They drug me down with them. But you just got to get after it. You know what I'm saying? Used to, I still work construction, but back in the day when I was first starting to work construction and scrap iron was high, we get rained out or couldn't do something, snowed out, got blew out by the wind or whatever it may be. I'd go haul junk, cut junk, scrap iron on the days I was off work, and make $250, $300 a day hauling junk, so there's ways to make money in the world. You just got to get after it. If it's just the person's drive, and you can't be scared of people. I'm not scared of people, and I guess that's why I made the YouTube channel. I'm not shy, and I'm not scared to talk to people because I don't think anybody's above me or below me. I don't care if you're the president or if you're a bum on the street, I'm gonna talk to you the same. And I ain't gonna say it's always good, you know. I try to be nice to people if they're nice to me, but if you do something to irritate me or try to get at me, I'm gonna get back after you. Whether you're the president, pope, or a bum on the street, I don't care. That's just how I am. So, but you can't be scared of people if you're gonna work for yourself or try to do something like that. You gotta, you know, don't be scared of people. They're shy. They ain't. The way I look at it is they ain't gonna take your birthday away or bite you. 90% of the time, if somebody's trying to talk down to you, because they got self-esteem problems. Maybe somebody talked down to them one time or another. But I found if you'll get right back at them, tell them what you think. Normally they'll back down. They'll kind of change their tune because they know you ain't gonna take no crap. So. That's the way I am. I think about kids in school, all that bullying shit. The way I look at it, I don't think a kid ought to start no crap. I don't think a kid should start no crap, but the way I look at it, if a kid's getting picked on or somebody's bullying them, if that kid will knock the piss out of one of them, that boy will leave them alone. You know what I mean? So that's just my outlook on crap. I'm kind of a eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth kind of person. Ooh, baby. That's probably gonna rub people the wrong way, but I can't help it. I'd say I don't think you should start no crap with nobody, but I don't think you should take no crap either. There's wolf and there's sheep and there's the sheepdog. I think of myself more of a sheepdog kind of guy. Anyway, y'all seen enough of that. That's how I do it. And I'm just out playing around. I've been up here for, I don't know, a couple, 2 or 3, 4 hours. And now it gets dark early, so I ain't got but a couple more hours left before it gets dark. But I'm working on the piles. They're getting dwindled down. Before they was pretty good. I still got quite a bit of wood to do, but I'm getting there. So anyway, I appreciate y'all. Appreciate all the subs. I think we're like 20, or we was like at 980 something when I looked last. Man, that's blew me away. I appreciate everybody, and we'll catch you on the next one. Y'all have a good one.